In this lesson, we're going to take care of the details in the upper chest. Alright, so we've built out the lower abdomen or of the torso, and now we're ready to start building the chest of the character. So with females, the shape of the chest is a little bit different than male characters, obviously. And whenever we're modeling the features of the breast, it can be a little bit of a challenge because we need to make sure that we get the right form, but then we also need to make sure that that geometry fits into the rest of the geometry that we've already created. So we need to kind of take a look at this from the standpoint of creating cylindrical shapes in like in the last level where we created the portable television. We created the box, the main body of the portable television, then we had to create the speaker. So we had a different element there. So we're going to kind of do the same thing here. So to get started with this, let's create a plane along the breast right around in here. And then we're going to convert that to editable poly. And then I'm going to change its color and apply the material while I'm here. Okay. And then let's go to vertex mode and let's start to place this where we need it to be. So I'm going to bring these vertices down right around in here. And I'm just kind of following along with the contour here that we have in the shape. Now, in the drawing itself, this was kind of just drawn to show the shape. However, we're not building out the actual breast. We're building the shirt. Okay, so we just need to make sure that we have the correct form for a female. So to get started with this, let's take this edge. We're going to hold down Shift and we're going to drag this out. And we're going to drag this straight across. Okay. Now it's going to meet up with this polygon here. Now in our left view, let's go ahead and get this set up correctly. First off, the polygons themselves, they're just not in the correct position. So we need to put those right out front here. So at the top of that, meeting right here, and then we're going to take the vertices here. We're going to pull that right here down toward the bottom. Now here we have a couple of choices. We could continue to create the shape just the way it is, or what we could do is we could start to attach it to the rest of the body and get going there. So normally what I like to do is I like to just get it attached and then start working from there. So let's select the main body. Let's scroll down and let's go to our attach tool and select the new polygons that we just created. Now I'll go to vertex mode. I'm going to right click and target weld from this vertex down to here, and then this vertex to here. Now from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to edge mode and I'm going to select this outside edge here. Let's hit L on our keyboard and let's pull this straight back. And then I'm going to take the next edge and I'm going to pull that back as well. So just kind of matching up with these segments here. Now at this point what I could do is I could start to take these vertices and I could weld those together, or I can create a new loop which is going to give us the shape that we need here. So I'm going to take this edge, I'm going to hold down Shift, I'm going to drag it up one more time to here, and then one more time after that up to here. So now I'm going to go to vertex mode, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to target weld the vertex to the newly created polygon to the profile here. And let's try that one more time. Let's make sure that we get the right one. Let me zoom out. And let's go to target weld, right click target weld, and we'll go from here to here. And then we're going to take these vertices and we're going to start pulling those over into place. So if I go to my front view hitting F on the keyboard, I can just pull these over and just start to position these properly here. Okay. So now I want to go to our left view and let me pull this out. And what we need to do is we need to get the form of the breast. So we need that shape. Okay. Let's take this edge and this edge. We're going to bring that down. Alright, that looks fine. Let me take this edge right here. Let me hit Control Backspace to remove that. And let's go to vertex mode, target weld, go from here to there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cap this hole right here. So to get started with this, let's target weld from here to there, and then here to here. And then I need to split this right here. So let's hit Control Shift and S to go to our Swift Loop tool. Okay, or you can go up to Edit, Swift Loop. Either way will be fine. Let's hold down Shift, and that's going to constrain that to the middle of that polygon, and then also pull that out to continue along with the flow. And then we're going to right-click, target weld from here down to here. Okay, so that's created those polygons in place. We've got a nice starting place here, and we can start to move these vertices out and start creating the form of the breast there. All right, let's go to our left view and pull this out. Okay, and then now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Edge Mode, and we're going to get the rest of the form here. Now, the way that I like to go about this is I like to take this polygon right here along the front, and I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to drag this out 3 times. Okay. And then from here, what we'll do is we'll get these polygons together. So I need to create a loop that connects the top here. So let's select this edge. Let's hit L. And I'm going to bring that straight back to where it touches right here along the shoulder. Take the next one, I'm going to pull that back just a little bit, and then leave the others alone. Now, from this edge to here, I'm going to bridge. So let's use our bridge tools. And I'm going to do one segment and hit OK. Let's take that segment, pull it out to where it matches up with the shoulder. And then we can go to vertex mode, and you can start to pull these vertices around and get those to kind of relax a little bit. Okay, so looking at this, we've started to create a sleeve here. Let's take that, let's pull this back, and pull that one back as well. Alright, now let's hit L on the keyboard. That looks good. And now what we need to do is we need to fill in this geometry here. So to get started with that, I'm going to hit 3 on the keyboard to go to border mode. Let's cap that, and let's go to vertex mode. I'm going to start cutting the obvious first. I'm going to go from here across to here. Okay, and it looks like I may need another segment. Actually, we'll go from here to here, and then I'm going to go from here straight up, and I'm going to go into here. We're going to go from here straight up again, but I'm going to split this polygon right here, right up through the middle there, and then we're left with quads. So now all I have to do is just go to vertex mode, start pulling these vertices out to create the shape of the breast. Pull that out, and there we go. You come in and start to pull these shapes out just a little bit more. Not much though. Let me actually pull those back some. Okay. So there we have the shape that we were looking for. Let's go to our front view in vertex mode, and I'm going to pull this out. Okay, starting to create that flow, that roundness of the form. And we're going to pull this over, and we're actually going to pull this one over this way. Okay. All right. So now we've got the shape that we want out of the chest here. We've got all the polygons that we need, and now what I want to do is I want to smooth this out a little bit. Now I've got this one vertex that's kind of sticking out there a little too far, so let's just pull that over in the X a little bit. That looks good. Okay, so now I want to smooth this out. Let's go to element mode by hitting 5 on the keyboard, select all the polygons there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down to our smoothing groups, and we're going to set everything to smoothing group 1, okay, only. If you need to, hit clear all and then 1. Make sure that that's all on the same smoothing group. So there we have our shape. Now what I want to do at this point is I would just want to see what it looks like with Turbo Smooth applied. I'm going to turn on Isoline Display and bump up my iterations to 2 and deselect that just to look at the form. Make sure that there isn't any weird pinching or anything like that. So we've got a good, nice shape there. Now, one thing that I want to mention here is that we're not creating a nude character. So we're not trying to get any details on the breast. We're actually creating the shirt. And the body changes the form of that shirt. So we may have to come in. Let's go to vertex mode. I'm also going to show end result. And let's start to pull these points around just a little bit to get the form, the correct form of the body here. Okay, so that matches our reference image a little bit better. Okay, let's go in. Let's just take a look at that. It's all looking pretty good. I'm going to pull these out along the bottom. And actually, the ones right here in the middle, I've pulled those out a little bit too far. These are actually supposed to be pushed in just a little bit. With the breasts, they're going to pull the shirt away from the body, but between the breasts themselves, you're going to get a little bit of a sag in the shirt. Okay, so you're still going to have the same kind of form, but you're going to have just a little bit of a dip in the shirt there. Okay, and it's very minor. And come in and go to vertex mode and pull out these forms just a little bit more. Okay, and that looks great there. Okay, let's select our object there and hit Z to zoom in on that. Okay, so now we've got the front. And looking at this, we've got some really great loops. We've got the loops across the abdomen, which look great. We've got this loop that started around the arm, which is going to be very helpful. And then we also have this loop that's coming up underneath the breast, okay, to create that form. But this is also going to allow for stretching whenever the character lifts her arm up toward her head, okay. So that's going to allow for that to stretch very nicely. So now what we're going to do in our next lesson is we're going to create the polygons that we need for the back. And I'm going to show you how we can reuse some of this geometry. And we'll get started with that next.